Picture this scenario: you're one of the biggest clubs in London, you've got world-class infrastructure, you're throwing serious money at academy development, but then this bombshell lands. A centre-back who's only 15, already getting international recognition and compared to John Stones himself, has decided to join Newcastle instead of coming to Tottenham. And that's not even the half of it. Manchester United, Manchester City, and Leeds were all after this lad too. But we came up short. And here's the question that won't leave my head. Are we witnessing the beginning of a dangerous pattern? Stick around because the analysis I'm about to give you is genuinely significant. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another moment of what's really happening behind the scenes at Tottenham. Let's get into the details. Josh Kenchington is a highly rated centre-back from Barnsley Academy, and we're talking about a prospect held in absolutely huge regard at Oakwell. According to TBR football chief correspondent Graeme Bailey, Kenchington is probably the best talent to emerge from Barnsley since John Stones himself. That's the level we're talking about here. At just 15 years old, he's already playing for Barnsley under-18s and has been capped 4 times by England youth setup. This tells you everything about his potential. When you're getting international recognition at that age, you're on a specific trajectory. Now, here's where it gets interesting for Spurs. There was a genuine, competitive race for his signature. We're talking about Manchester City, Manchester United, Leeds United, and Tottenham all in the mix. This wasn't a situation where one club had him wrapped up early. It was a proper battle. But Newcastle, under Eddie Howe's direction, have won out. And according to the reporting, his family played a key role in that decision. They visited Tyneside, they liked what they saw, and they believed it was the right fit for Josh's development. Barnsley sources are now expecting Newcastle to make an official announcement imminently. Here's the tactical context. Barnsley are clearly disappointed to lose him. They were hoping he'd stay and develop into a first-team player at the club. But that's the reality of modern academy football. The biggest institutions with the best resources can attract the best young talent, and Newcastle, under Howe's ownership, have significant investment and ambition behind them. Now, for Tottenham fans, is this something to be genuinely concerned about? Not entirely. Here's why. The Spurs still have Luka Vuskovic. The Croatian centre-back is a generational defensive prospect that Tottenham secured at 18 years old. And here's the crucial part: if Vuskovic stays on Spurs' books until he turns 21, he'll automatically count as a club-trained player for UEFA squad registration purposes. That's a huge, long-term strategic advantage. This brings us to the actual context behind why Spurs missed out on Kenchington. Ange Postecoglou had to register only 22 players for the Champions League this season instead of the full 25-player quota. Why? Because of a shortage of club-trained players. That's a registration problem that's been limiting Spurs' flexibility. Securing young academy talent like Kenchington would have helped solve that problem down the road. But it's not a catastrophic miss, because Vuskovic represents exactly that kind of long-term solution. The priority now should be maximizing his development and ensuring he progresses as expected. That said, this shows the level of recruitment competition Tottenham is facing in the academy market. Newcastle are clearly on an upward trajectory with their ownership backing, and they're competing aggressively for top young talent. That's a trend worth monitoring. But here's what really matters beyond just this one prospect. Tottenham Academy infrastructure needs to become a genuine competitive advantage, not a weakness. Yes, you have elite first-team talent under Thomas Frank, but the reality is that top European clubs are built on a foundation of academy production. Liverpool, Manchester City, Real Madrid, they're winning because their academies are consistently producing sellable assets and future starters. Spurs have the facilities, the location, the investment, but they need to start winning more of these races for young talent. Missing out on Kenchington to Newcastle signals that there's still work to be done in how Spurs attracts and convinces families that Tottenham is the best destination for their son career. That's the real takeaway here. So here's the headline: Tottenham missed out on a generational defensive prospect in Josh Kenchington. But they're not in crisis because they have Luka Vuskovic as their long-term academy solution. Newcastle have made a smart move, and it reflects their growing ambition in the market. For Spurs, the focus should be on ensuring Vuskovic develops as expected, tightening up that academy recruitment process, and building a culture where young talent sees Tottenham as a destination, not just another stepping stone. Here's my question for you. Do you think Spurs' academy structure is competitive enough to compete with Newcastle and the Manchester clubs for elite young talent? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this transfer update, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exclusive Spurs update. We bring you the fastest, most accurate, and most detailed transfer news every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.